Each state shall appoint, in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct, a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress, but no senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed an elector. So this again gets into the you don't vote for president, you vote for an elector who is the one who decides who they're going to vote for. A lot of states have laws against what are called faithless electors, which are electors who don't vote the way the election turned out in their state. Usually, in fact, as far as I can tell, always what that means is voting for some random other third party. There were a bunch of faithless electors 8 years ago, and it didn't end up swaying anything, but there were people who just refused to place their vote in the Electoral College for, Hillary Clinton, really. And this is another one where the Constitution does not want you holding 2 government jobs. So you cannot work for the government and be a member of the Electoral College. Or at least you can't work for the federal government. So and this is also where we get into Wyoming has more power per capita than California.
Because their 3 people have more, can do more good or bad than the 54 in California?
Well, because their 3 people represent far fewer people than the 54 for California. If you divide the number of electors by the population of the state, Wyoming has the fewest people per elector, and California has the most people per elector. Because the system is unbalanced, because compromise.
Is this a thing where, at least back in the day, or they claim or they claim nowadays, that this gives power to the state, quote to quote?
Yeah. Technically and officially, under this part of the Constitution, there doesn't have to be an election in your state for president. Now, I think we get to that soon, but this section says that the state is going to appoint those electors. And so, in theory, under this part, they don't have to listen to the popular vote at all.
So, did the people even vote at this point, or did they just appoint them?
Well, some of them did.
So I know they actually had election not popular. I know they actually had elections to elect these electors at this point, or they were disappointed.
Well, for the first, for 1789, in all practical purposes, they were just appointing George Washington. Everybody knew who the first president was going to be, because everybody knew that it had to be George Washington. George Washington didn't want to be president. He took the job because he was persuaded that if he didn't, then it would be seen as a lack of faith in the new system of government. And so he said, okay, fine, I'll be president. And he served his first term, and he wanted to go home. And they told him that if he didn't take a second term, then it would be seen as a lack of blah, 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 blah. And so he served 2 terms, and he said, there, I'm done. And now to show that this is how it works, I'm going home, and you will elect someone else. So the two George Washington presidencies are kind of outside the rest of the system because it had to be George Washington. Starting with John Adams, yeah, there was voting. It was a lot more limited. There were still places where you basically had to be a property owner. And of course, you had to be a white man. And, so how many people vote has been increasing since 1789 as far as who is eligible. But in the very first election, it broadly doesn't matter whether people voted for president or not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They tell you the number of senators plus representatives.
Yeah. Senators plus representatives tells you how many voting members of the Electoral Congress your state has.
How many do you have?
I could never remember.
I think I still remember. Mine is 8. I think mine's 18. Or is it 17? No, I can't remember now either because I just knew, like, I saw a month ago and now it's like already.
We have 12 electoral votes. Wow. Almost 30,000 people in my state voted for Jill Stein.
Yeah. No, I think it's 17. I think it's 17. I look it up now. I think I have 15 representatives and 2 senators. But I thought it was 18 on that. I thought it was 18 on the board.
That's interesting. Little over 3,000 people in Washington voted for the guy who wasn't eligible to be president.
Who is that?
He was an Indian American who was running for president under some obscure third party. But he was born in Mumbai to Indian parents. He is not, and we'll get to it soon, he is not eligible to be president.
Okay. I was getting it reversed. You said Indian American, not American.
No, Indian American. He was born in India.
Okay. I was thinking the other way around.
No, this isn't, the situation with Native Americans is complicated. This is literally he was born in India.
All right. I think that's pretty much everything to say about this page.
Yep.